long line of entrepreneurs. Was in HR with Red Hat, but left prior to the merger. So I don't know. Maybe not. Hopefully, maybe something still good came out of that. Right? Maybe that has to fuel the startup career as well. But she has launched her company actually in Atlanta and is now in the scaling phase. When she was with Red Hat, discovered the beauty and the wonder of the triangle, decided to kind of stay here and launch the company further from here. She just had some great success at South by Southwest, and I'll let her get into that as well. But with that, Naya Powell, welcome to Spa Utopia. Thank you.
Good morning, and Krista, thank you for that generous welcome. How's everybody feeling today? Great. Awesome. So it's Wednesday. You guys all have your coffee. How many of you could probably use a little relaxation, a little massage, maybe even delivered right to your office or door? Okay, we have a couple takers there. So I think we can all relate to that. I'm Naya Powell. I'm the founder of Spa Utopia, your luxury spa on demand. Essentially, we are the LYFT of holistic spa and wellness services, delivering those to your door. So a little bit about my why, a little bit about me. As Krista said, I am a third-generation entrepreneur on both sides of my family. So I've seen tremendous success, but I've also seen the cost of that success being stress, and that stress causing chronic illness and disease right in my own family. So I've grown up with the influences of not only entrepreneurship, but health, wellness, and beauty. My mom is a national director, retired national director of Mary Kay. Trailblazing success there. My father, government contractor, so we had multiple government contract awards, but he was also a marathon runner and a vegetarian, and still is a vegetarian and very health conscious. But even with those healthy lifestyle choices, he still ended up with a chronic illness called PLS, which impacts his mobility. So I've been able to see firsthand what the imbalance of too much work and too much stress can do and how that can impact our bodies. So, needless to say, you probably can relate to 61% of Americans feeling like they're in a time crunch. Also, you probably know someone who's been impacted by some type of lifestyle disease. 80% of heart disease and death is actually caused by stress. So the problem is, as we just kind of talked about, busy professionals and busy travelers, most of us are now traveling for work more than ever, they're finding it very difficult to find vetted, licensed, insured, quality spa professionals when they need it. A lot of times when we need it, it's that day. You're getting off a plane, or you have had back-to-back meetings, and you need your wellness now. It's a two-sided problem, actually, because then we have the wellness professionals. They're looking for increased revenue, they're looking for more quality and flexibility as well, and they're looking for safe work conditions. So the solution is basically on-demand, holistic, luxury spa wellness experiences. What we do to kind of make ourselves set apart is we customize your spa experience. We do that with a selection of essential oil aromatherapy. We have at least 3 types of those. We also appeal to the palate with Tazo tea. We also appeal to sight with candles. And then all of our providers also come equipped with at least 4 different types of wellness music for your liking. So, even these folks have utilized Spa Utopia. We've actually had the pleasure of servicing these celeb clients such as Martha Stewart, P. Diddy, Angela Bassett, and others, and recently the NFL Super Bowl in Atlanta. So you can see everybody needs a little wellness brought to them. The way we are actually going to,
3 minutes.
we're at 3 minutes now?
Yep.
Okay.
3 minutes left.
3 minutes left, okay, thank you. So the way we're going to deliver this is through our Spa Utopia mobile web app platform. This allows you to connect to your provider right through the touch of your phone or your web. Customize and store your preferences, whether you want lavender essential oils, whether you want instrumental classicals, along with your massage, facial, or manicure. And then you can even track the provider in terms of where they are using that geo-tracking feature. And for our providers, we offer safety alerts, as well as we have a review and rewards program. So this actually provides increased compensation for the amount of 5-star reviews they receive. And it also offers 2-sided reviews, holding everybody accountable and creating service excellence. Traction to date, we've serviced over 19 hotels in multiple markets. We've actually worked with global brands such as the Ritz-Carlton, WeWork, the NFL, and others. Market size, as you can see globally, this is the $4.2 trillion market. In the United States, the spa industry is $17 billion. We believe in 5 years that we can actually achieve $1 billion, which is 6%. So our business model is we are B2B to C. We're focusing heavily right now on corporate client growth. We also service upscale hotels and then women's wellness home subscription services. Why am I uniquely qualified? I am a third-generation entrepreneur. I have over 10 years of spa wellness experience, also 10 years in tech and talent acquisition. Our team offers over 30 years of expertise, everything from IT to intellectual property, marketing, entrepreneurship, finance, and wellness. The ask is really introductions. So looking for introductions, we're going to start our raising process in the next 45 to 60 days to angel investors, primarily that have an interest in health and wellness tech. Also, program managers for co-working spaces. We are working with WeWork. We see this as a potential to have strategic corporate partnerships nationally and then potentially globally. Also, HR and benefits managers, owners of upscale hotels, and then we're also looking to add to our team in the area of technical lead and business development. So thank you so much. Again, I'm Naya Powell, and we look forward to lifting the spa and wellness industry globally. Right, open to questions.
So your relationship with the massage therapist or whoever, that's the 1099 relationship?
Yes.
So what have your conversations been like? So I know a lot of people in that world. So, and many of them have their own very specific ways they like to set up things in the sense they like to use. So how have the conversations gone with them adapting to kind of the formula that you have?
So we did start in Atlanta, and that's where we have a larger presence. We are growing here. We have a smaller presence here. But typically, they kind of appreciate having everything. We have a Spa Utopia kit that makes it very convenient for them to have everything they need packaged up and conveniently available. So a lot of times they welcome it. We also have Spa Utopia shirts. We have Spa Utopia tote. So what a lot of wellness providers do have is their own hustle. They usually have their own clients, and a lot of times they might work for 2 or 3 different organizations as well as other mobile spa or wellness providers. So it's usually well received that we have it very organized.
And it's just filling some gaps.
Yep, it's just kind of filling in some gaps. So we are not really trying to be their 100% full-time employer yet. Maybe in the next 1 to 2 years, we'll be able to supply that level of work for them. But right now, we are a complement as a way to add in additional revenue streams.
What's the name of the app?
So we are actually in the process, right now we're using MindBody software, but we actually won an app through our pitch competition that we did through South by Southwest. And we're in the process of getting that developed, and it will be proprietary, and that's with Engineer AI. So we are in the works right now.
Okay, sorry, I couldn't find you.
Yes.
You opened the door to competitors. You said the competitors in the States. What differentiates you?
Yeah. So our biggest competitors are Zeal and Soothe. They provide massage therapy only. So they don't provide a full array of spa wellness services. There's another company called Prid. They do offer a wider range of services. They get a little bit more into the beauty, like makeup artistry and things like that. We're actually going to, as we continue to scale, our phase 2 will roll in yoga and acupuncture, and we already also offer mindfulness. We're actually offering that service for WeWork on a monthly basis in Atlanta, and we started offering services for WeWork in Durham. So that's kind of going to be how we further distinguish ourselves from Prid.
What did you put in South by Southwest besides the app development? Were there other benefits of winning PR? Has it brought a increased awareness of your business?
I would say that Engineer AI did do a great job of sharing, it was myself and 2 other winners, of sharing that PR, and I've gotten a lot of good response because people like to see that momentum. In addition to that, I was nominated shortly after for the Ada Lovelace Award for a female founder in tech. So this kind of like went right hand in hand, and I believe that one kind of helped the other. And then when the app rolls out, I'm gonna get more PR.
Naya, would you speak to the security aspect for your service providers? Because I think that's another very, very important differentiator.
Yes, that is key. So one of the things that we also will be doing is we will have right on the app a safety feature for our providers. Some of the feedback that I've gotten through acquiring talent, interviewing, is that there have been multiple encounters working with some of the competitors where they have been, they felt very unsafe and improperly propositioned by clients. And so we are going to address that head on. We're not going to, tell our providers that that's acceptable or just ignore it. We'll actually have a safety feature, which when they hit that button, it can actually alert the police. It'll also even have some special features like a nice little chime. Let's say they hit it on accident. We don't want the police showing up on accident. So it'll be a subtle chime, and it won't be something that disturbs the client. Let's say it'll just be kind of a distinct chime that'll increase in volume over the course of 20 seconds. If it's not addressed, then we know that that provider might have some challenges, and we will make sure that we send help on the way. I feel like that will also further distinguish us. And also, thank you for bringing that up, Krista, because another way we're going to distinguish ourselves, and I touched on it, but I think I should dig deeper, is that we are going to review and reward based on performance. So for every tier of 5-star reviews, once they hit 50 5-star rewiews, 100 5-star reviews, 200 5-star reviews, their commission structure will increase. And that way we're reviewing and rewarding service excellence through compensation. We believe that that's really going to set us apart from our competitors as well. I also touched on it, but I think the fact that our providers are equipped with a Spa Utopia kit that allows them to offer very customized and very standard branding and consistency is something else that no one else is doing in the same way, appealing to all 5 senses and offering a customized experience for our clients.
With some of the members in the community who have a marketing, branding background, product development, in initial discussions with Naya, there was a conundrum, right? Is she a service provider? Is she a product company? Because she is developing her own line of products to go along with this, that the service providers can offer, not forcing anybody, but that is a challenge, right? And where do you place your emphasis, your priorities, and does that help further differentiate the company, or does that split her attention in 2 different ways? So that would be interesting to give her feedback if you have opinions on that as well.
I'd love to hear feedback. I know in conversations with you, Krista, you felt like having that brand consistency and making sure that each provider had a kit, not their own kit, was something that would be important to potential clients. And I would love to hear thoughts from you all.
Well, addressing that specifically, I think if you have that consistency, that's really helpful because then they are Spa Utopia. So I think as far as the consumer to have that, going back to you're talking about your talent acquisition, if you're having the their 1099 contractors are kind of some of the changing laws about contractors and if they're providing the service, and how might that potentially impact you and where you're potentially going and opening up your reach, such as California right now being an example of that.
In terms of opening up our reach, in terms of scaling to other...
Well, like scaling to other areas, and just if those areas are, if they are providing, I can't remember what the exact language of the rule is, but if you have a contractor and they're providing what you do, then they're considered, and then that's at the threshold of employee and not contractor. So I know that's happening, I think that's a California thing, and there are other, and just as far as how that might affect things, it's been affecting the gig economy in very different ways, such as with Lyft and Uber.
Yeah, it's true. So I feel like because all of this is rapidly just kind of evolving in terms of this gig economy and the laws that are being written, kind of as time goes on, I'll have to constantly be in touch with legal counsel. And that's why initially I didn't require my providers to buy a kit. They could actually have their own supplies that are comparable, because most wellness providers are going to have aromatherapy. They're gonna have a playlist, but it also does make it difficult to provide that consistency. So giving them the option to buy the kit, could perhaps be an approach to give them a higher commission structure for being more invested, but not forcing them. So those are the kind of things that I've been playing around. If anybody has any legal guidance or insight on that, I'd love to hear it.
Time for 3 more questions.
Going to talk about using the Ritz and/or WeWorks as part of your scaling opportunity.
Sure. So currently, the hotel that we work with the most is the Ritz-Carlton in Atlanta. We are just really started working with WeWork, Atlanta, and also here. Our goal is to scale into other major markets. Some say, oh, I thought Ritz-Carlton that had a spa. Some do and some don't. Only 10 to 15% of hotels actually have spas in-house, and more of them are actually moving away because it's a lot to manage. So services like Spa Utopia make it a wonderful complement. Also, in terms of return on investment, corporations are really looking to beef up and add on to their corporate wellness programs because it reduces absenteeism, it increases productivity, and it also reduces insurance costs. So our goal is to form corporate strategic partnerships domestically, and we're also doing some things globally. Utopia Living is kind of the umbrella parent company of Spa Utopia, which focuses a lot more on coaching and retreats. Just to share, we just sold out of our first global retreat that we're having in September. It'll be a spa and lifestyle retreat in Belize. And so in this wellness economy, wellness tourism is also a huge part of it. So we really see ourselves as like the Martha Stewart Living of spa and wellness. And God bless you. So we're looking to really continue to grow and expand in unique ways.
Can you speak more so based Atlanta here, are those kind of your 2 main markets? Are there other places you're dabbling in? Just to know if we know people in other areas, and where should we be putting our minds to for you?
So Charlotte, the DMV area, Miami, LA, and New York are the higher priority. Charlotte being so close, that'll be next, and then the DMV area is so close, I have a lot of family there. That's also a 24-hour market. I've actually had a conversation with an investor that's like, when you're coming to LA, so what I haven't started raising yet. I'm going to start in the next 45 to 60 days, but I know that that market is perfect for what we offer, and then beyond.
Thank you.
Was there?
Yeah, so I see you have residential memberships, so if you wanted a massage, can you go to Ritz-Carlton but not be a hotel guest?
So those services for the Ritz-Carlton are specifically for their guests. We do have at-home women's wellness memberships. We have one sitting right here in the audience. So some clients like to have their wellness delivered to their home on a monthly basis or every 2 weeks. A lot of times it's easier to say I'm going to protect a time for my wellness at home versus trying to book in advance and drive somewhere and drive home. A lot of times, if you're in a time crunch, you don't have time for that 3-hour window.
So right now, the choices are residential or as a guest.
For the choices are, we can come to your workplace. The choices are we can come to a spa party or an event, and you can actually receive services at a hotel or at your home. We're actually focusing more on scaling the company through corporate partnerships and hospitality partnerships. So while we do offer at home, we're actually not focusing on it as much as we were in the past.
So how many representatives can you do for a party or an event?
How many clients can we service? We service groups of 100 plus. So as long as we have proper notice, we can scale up accordingly. This market is a little leaner, so larger cities make it a lot easier because the talent pool is richer. So that's something that I would say is one of my challenges for Raleigh-Durham area is the talent pool is a little leaner. So we are backing away from same-day services, which is we're able to do that in Atlanta and maybe bigger markets. Here we're focusing more on planning and scheduled events.
So are you looking for additional?
I am definitely looking for more talent. So if you know massage therapists, if you know mindfulness instructors, estheticians, or nail techs, we'd love to speak with them.
Are you since you're like LYFT, do you have dynamic pricing involved in your business model at all?
We don't quite have that, but we are working on that with the app development, seeing ways that we can reward, certain types of clients in terms of their pricing structure, then for people that have actually been, frequent users of the app. So we're working on that, but that's a great call out. So thank you for even asking me that question. I'll keep it top of mind.
One more question.
So in an app like this, as you go for your clientele, are you looking at other ways to leverage that, that connection, like product sales and things like that, or is it strictly service oriented?
So I think that probably in our phase 2, we will have some product sales because there is the Utopia body line, but right now this is not a line that we're creating for retail purposes. I did have it in retail a couple years back, but needed to just focus my attention. So really it's more just for providers, but we will be looking at that in, I would say probably about 2 years out.
Anyone else? Cindy, perfect timing, as we end. There we go. Do you have a question? No. With that, Naya, thank you very, very much. Naya has some marketing materials up here too if you're interested. Before you go though, Tony's coming up. Here we have just, yes, here. We have just a little thing. Sure, thank you.
We like to make sure all of our presenters get properly muzzled.
Oh,